Straight up, straight up, straight up.
Straight up. But nah, let's talk about how Travis Scott cracked the code.
So without further ado, hit that smash button and like it. Subscribe, it's awesome.
What's up, everybody? It's Garrett from trakksounds back again with another Cracking the Code episode, this time with Travis Scott. This is the series where we break down some of your favorite artists, look at their old interviews, and see a few steps and keys that they made along the way to build up to the success that they have now. So 3 of the keys that I saw in Travis Scott's interviews going back all the way to 2013 is 1, his networking ability, 2, developing skills that helped him find a sound, and then 3, developing that sound to be unique. So we're gonna pull up a few interviews, see what happened, and get into cracking the code. These big old space rockets on, and whoom, dive out looking like Neo from the Matrix every time that thing comes down. I'm on my toes over here. So we're gonna pull up an interview first. We're talking about networking is the first thing. He was obviously very good at it. This man was signed to T.I. and Kanye West at the same time. Had a whole bunch of people going after him. He definitely knew how to go in between, stay in touch with people. He used to blow up Mike Dean. He'll talk about it in a few interviews, and Mike Dean has still helped develop his sound to this day. So let's pull up this Sway interview first. It is a really good one. This is where he talks about how he got in touch with Kanye West, how he got in touch with T.I., a few other things.
Before rodeo.
So it's before rodeo.
Yeah.
Now, when did the relationship with Kanye? How did that happen?
You know, my manager, Anthony Kilhofer, he's been like mixing and producing for him for like mad long time. You know, when Kanye like first started, like at Record Planet and shit, wherever he was at.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I'm a fan of the music and I'm a fan of the credits and I'm a fan of people that like actually do stuff. So, you know, I seen his name.
To actually create.
Exactly.
Right.
So like, you know, when I was looking at the credits on album, like, man, you know, like Mike Dean, Kilhofer, these guys are like on here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I always hit up Mike Dean, man. I used to stalk that nigga all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, I fuck with you. You know, he used to like hit me up, you know. So I used to hit Kilhofer on the email, like, yo, man, you know, I got these beats, I got these songs, you know, I'm a rapper, I make beats, you know, fuck with me. So he used to hit me back here and there, la. So I took like I remember he hit me one day, this is like during Watch the Throne area, right? Mm-hmm. He was like, yo, can you come meet me in LA? And I lived in Houston. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah. And like he thought I lived in LA, so I bought this ticket. I met him like right across the street from Ambita Music, that record shop. Yeah. It was like a 15-minute meeting. And I was like, I brought my laptop, had all this shit. I came straight from the airport to the meeting because the meeting was at like 10:30. And like, I was like, we about to go to the studio? He was like, no, I got to go on the Watch the Throne tour. I was like, what the fuck?
Damn. I bought this ticket, man.
Right. Yeah. So like, so I went back home and like, you know, later on when I put out my first video and shit, you know, he kind of like, I was working at Atlantic Studio with Mike Karen and shit. Oh my God, man. And fucking, he like came back from Watch the Throne tour. He was at this coffee shop around the corner. And he was like, he called me like, yo, where you at? I was like, I'm in Atlantic Rec. I'm in this like studio, man. Like I was like, I wasn't crying, but I was just like going crazy.
Yeah.
I felt trapped, low key. And so, you know, he was like, come meet me at this coffee shop. So I left. And he was like, yo, he was like, man, I want to manage you. But like we both was I was trying to ask him to manage me and he was trying to ask me. So we both kind of said it at the same time. And I was like, yes. You know what I'm saying? And so he came back with me to the studio and I made this one beat. I had this one beat on my big computer. He was like, yo, this shit is crazy. And he like took it with him. He was like, all right. He was going to go meet Kanye the next day. So around this time, people were trying to sign me and shit, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like, but people wanted my publishing before, like, you know what I'm saying? They wanted to sign me a record deal. They wanted both at the same time. I was like, man, fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's smart because that's how you're gonna make your bread and butter, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so like the next 3 days later, I was at this hotel. I was about to sign to Warner Brothers, like all this shit, la la la, and Kanye, Kilhofer called me, was like, yo man, Kanye fucks with that beat. It was like crazy because he had a song that was already using that same sample. And just somehow I like made the beat, like had the beat kind of.
What beat was it? What was the song that he had?
It never came out.
So it goes into a lot more in that interview. It is a really good interview as well. So I highly suggest you go watch it. I will put it in the link below. But a few of the key points I do take from there is him looking behind the credits and finding people that are working behind the scenes. I always preach this is a great way to network with people. A lot of people that are really working on this stuff, you have a way easier way to get access to them and get bigger to the bigger goals you had. Also, his just dedication to keep going. He was willing to fly out somewhere when he just at the drop of a dime. That's a pretty big commitment and things like that. So here we're gonna go way back into a 2013 interview with Travis with Simtex TV. He's talking about how he met his manager. Again, this is another just different perspective on it. This one's not as long as the other one.
How did you meet Killhoffer?
Man, email. This idiot has his number and fucking email on the internet. And like, fucking, I used to hit this dude up, man. And my homie Dozy, man, for real. My homie Josh Canoe, he used to email him for me and shit. And act like it was me, and then like I just send him beats, send him songs, and then he was like, "Yo, send me some shit for Sean," and I never sent nothing, but I just kept sending my music, and then like I met up with him in LA. Man, I bought a ticket from Texas to LA to meet this nigga for 20 minutes. I had my backpack, my motherfucking laptop, my fucking controller, hard drives. I thought he was about to hit the studio. He was like, "Man, I'm about to go on the Watch the Throne tour, man." I was like, fuck. And I went back home, and I had it was all fucked up.
So for people who don't know Killhoffer,
So it's just another funny perspective to like, it's just funny to see Travis like that young too at the time too, because now we know Travis as of now, so, and seeing what kind of levels he's hit to it's pretty astronomical. So yeah, he used to just be hustling. He had his friends emailing people. Obviously information is out there too. That's another good takeaway from that one as well. He found the email and just randomly started hitting them up. So then there's another part to that interview too where he talks about Kanye even more at the 2:30 mark.
Good music, undoubtedly, is definitely one of the best, if not the best. It's like, how did you get that break in terms of joining with Kanye and getting into that circle?
Man, I did this video, man. I got the song, and, he fucked with it. And Killhoffer kind of like, man, I was in the fucking SLS, man. Man, my last day, I just got kicked out my crib. Man, Killhoffer somehow made that shit happen. And then I made it to New York, and that's when niggas was working on like Theraflu, and I heard Mercy for the first time and shit. And then I was just working on mad songs, man. And then it's just like, I just kept around, and then I played Ye my music. He fucked with this shit so hard, man. It's like, man, you gonna be the future, man.
Man, Ye was definitely right on that. So keep it going. We got another one with Paul Rosenberg. That was, I think, 2014 or so, but just another dope perspective on how he would network and came up and kind of plotted his way to get with different people.
And then like the guy's my manager right now, Anthony Killhoffer. He was like, man, I'm about to go to New York, and I was working on this song. I did this beat for my album, and he was like, man, let me take this with me to New York. I'm like, damn. But he didn't tell me he was going to New York with Kanye, but I just know he like works with him all the time. So I was like, man, he's probably going out there to work with him. So the next day, this fool called me, and like I was homeless at this time. Like I had no crib, none of that.
You were homeless or you were couch surfing?
Nah, I was like homeless. Like,
You were in the street?
yeah, in the street, like in my friend's car.
Oof.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like, whatever, man. And so
You didn't want to call your mom and be like, hey, I'm not.
Oh no, man. I'm gonna come clean, bro. I'm a hard nigga before I cry like at least like once on that mission. Cause I was like out there in LA in the field like for like 7 months. And when you don't know nobody, bro, like it's like, bro, it's crazy. All I know is the person next to me, and I can't go home because I got too much to prove. It was like nuts.
Wow.
So Warner Brothers, all these like labels wanted to sign me at that time, and so I was like, man, going ham. And then so
How did they get to find out about you just from the video?
just like talking? I guess there's like some talk. I don't know what's going on.
So yeah, he kind of keeps going into the story too, similar to the Sway interview, talks more about how he met Kanye even more. So I'll put this in the description as well. Definitely check it out and watch it. I thought it was pretty wild just to see the dedication and some of the, trials he went through, just to remind people of like, how hard it has been for some other artists out there. Obviously, networking has been huge for Travis Scott, but another thing that has been really big for him is being able to engineer, produce, and anything like that that actually helps his sound develop. He's able to talk with engineers, talk with producers much easier, work with producers now much easier now that he works with more producers, and it's just a better process for him. So I've been recommending for a long time, keep expanding your skills to whatever. If you have one skill, if you're a producer, if you're an artist, whatever it is, try to add at least another skill within music, engineering, graphics, or something like that. That way you can just be multifaceted and maybe have another stream of income. Let's check out Macanina, I can barely even pronounce this, old interview from 2013 that was never released, where he kind of talks about some of his skill sets and things like that.
Just been doing music for like, since I was like 17, making beats around that time too. Started making beats because like a lot of producers like where I was from couldn't do like fit the type of music I wanted to do, so I had to kind of like learn myself, and then like I kind of picked up engineering as well. I just kind of did that.
Yeah, isn't that a byproduct of making beats? Like when you're on the grind, you have to learn how to engineer. It's not the funnest thing.
Yeah. I feel like every artist should try to like learn how to engineer, because no one's gonna know how you want to sound. So you should kind of like learn a little bit so you can kind of like translate to the engineer.
Your sound is by far different than the Houston sound per se. So
So great advice, pretty much basically what I was just preaching. So I'm not even going to touch on it too much. Keep learning your skills, engineering, producing, anything like that. It can help you tremendously. We'll go back to that Simtex interview.
Where did it all start?
It started on fucking 2026 Waterfall Drive, man. Like, shit, man. And that's where like it all went down, man. Like, fucking my mom's house, my dad's house. It's like I had my room, I turned my bedroom into a full-blown studio. Like, fuck the bed, fuck everything, man. Like, I slept in a chair, shit was just like real, and like, man, I was on a PC, broke down ass PC, man, you know what I'm saying? Mom got me a Mac, and I just like had to do it, man. Like, all my friends, Ashton, all my homies just came through and just like recorded and shit, and so I was like an engineer. And man, I was like, man, I used to call that shit producing, man. Like, I seen Kanye making beats in the yellow polo. I was like, oh fuck, this shit's called producing. Fuck, I gotta like learn how to do ill shit. So that's how I picked it up, man. And then like I just started going ham. I met Killhofer, and then my life just changed.
So yeah, great points. Just another good perspective into his life and his mind frame coming up. He knew he had to make something shake. He knew he had to learn some different skills, and he did it. So that's why he is Travis Scott of today. The last thing, too, that was very crucial I saw in a lot of these interviews is obviously Travis developing his signature sound and stage presence and all of that in between, his image, all of that. He knew the vision he wanted for it, and he stuck with it for a long time. We'll go back to that Macanima. Oh, my God. I sound like it's like a Macarena.
about it versus how I go about it. So describe your process.
It all depends, man. Like, I'll be watching a movie, or like I'll be like playing a video game, or I'll be like listening to old music, and I try to like listen to those elements, and then like I either start with a drum or a snare. It all depends on like how the day goes,
Okay.
If I barely sample, but if I do, then I either start with the sample, then lay the drums, or if I'm not sampling, then I'll just have to like hum around. The iPhone has this app where you can just like record all day. And so like that kind of helps as well.
Just being there.
Right? Exactly.
Making notes.
So yeah, it just kind of shows a little bit of his creative process and how he starts coming up and developing his sound. This next part of the Rosenberg interview really talks about like what he wanted to do with his sound and what the direction he wanted to take it though. So this really dives.
There's a certain level of bravado and showmanship you have that not a lot of people have. So I guess that's why it's reminded.
That's why. See, that's what I'm saying. That's not my fault. It's not my fault. Other rappers or other artists couldn't carry another prestige of like just following that. That's not hard. It's just artistry. I'm not the artist to just like rap in front of a fucking mic with a DJ behind me and just like try to bore you with my songs. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to put on a show. Like, I don't make music to just like for a DJ to be behind me with his weak little like tar mat with his like DJ face on it. Like, I'm not about that.
Well, what if he has dope slip mats though? So
that's whack.
Stop hating.
Like, keep hitting the bomb and keep hitting the damn thing.
What if it's a lot of gunshots though?
But that's just like getting on my damn nerves. I'm into the we create this music, man, with like light shows, man. The people, it's like an experience. Like, those sounds like are supposed to like control the atmosphere, aka the lights, the smoke, the strobes, all that. So I mean, that's just like what it is.
Do you get more influence? Do you get a lot of influence from like a lot of the electronic DJs?
Yeah. That's kind of like Daft Punk and like Justice. Those kids, I like idolize them more than like wherever your favorite DJ is. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, because you love the showmanship, the full performance,
and like it's like the new DJ. and it's the new like way to hit play on music. You know, it's like their DJ sets are like real stages.
Great points as well. This shows that you need to have way more going on than just your music. Your videos have to have a crazy presence. Your shows have to have a crazy presence. Your content has to be very clean in quality, but as well as quantity. I didn't want to keep playing interviews over and over. I'll link all of these in the description. They're all great. Go watch them whenever you have time if you want to get some motivation. I definitely appreciate you watching this episode of Crack the Code. As always, let me know in the comments below who you'd like to see next. And until next time.
Smash it! Smash the like button, please. Like this channel. Garrett is awesome.